Hey guys, Cameron with CBM Reviews here, and I'm here with the newest comic book movie review for you. This is the review of Hellboy. Hellboy was directed by Neil Marshall, and it stars David Harbour, Mila Jovovich, Ian McShane, and Sasha Lane. Now, if this title sounds familiar to you, there was another Hellboy movie that came out a long time ago. I believe it was 2003 or 4, with Ron Perlman starring in the title role and Guillermo del Toro directing. Now, this one is not a sequel to that one. This is a reboot or refresh or whatever you want to call it. It is not connected to that Hellboy, but it's his own thing. So I'm going to tell you what I liked about it, and I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about it, and then give you my score. So hang on, kids. Before I get started in the review, I want to thank everybody who's clicked on this video. It really means a lot to me that you want to know what I think about this movie. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you want to know as soon as I upload anything, hit that notification bell. You'll know as soon as I post a video. And I haven't forgotten that we're doing that 500 subscriber giveaway. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to get in on that, you've got a small amount of time before I select one random person to give a prize to. One of the things that I was definitely looking forward to as far as this Hellboy is concerned was the fact that Mike Mignola was going to be more hands-on with the production and the story and everything with the movie. And usually speaking, whenever a creator is involved, they take a whole lot more care into what's going on. But then you've got times where other creators or people in the comic book community have taken task to helping create a movie, and you get things like Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, or The Spirit. As you know, Frank Miller was heavily involved in those. And so I was hoping this wouldn't be a thing. Also, the day before I went to go watch this, I was scrolling down YouTube or whatever newsfeed, and it was talking about how awful the reviews for Hellboy were getting, and I don't like to have my views skewed. I want to give a completely fresh review for the movie that I'm about to watch so that I give you as honest a review as I can. And having said that, this movie is atrocious. It is bad on every front. If I wasn't trying to give you an honest review, I would have been a whole lot more tempted to walk out. Is this the worst movie ever made? Not by a long shot. There are much, much worse entries that can be put in the worst movie ever catalog. But this comic book movie is the worst one since Fan Four Stick. Is it worse than Fan Four Stick? That is for you to judge. But let me get on the things that I did like. David Harbour is a somewhat likable Hellboy. Unfortunately, Ron Perlman is a better Hellboy. And that's, I think, more to do with the story that is being told. And there's a lot of action in this. Whereas there was more of a narrative being told in the original Hellboy series, this one is action-packed. There are so many action pieces in this movie, and those are the two things that I somewhat enjoyed, but it stops there. The story is jam-packed with so much, and it just doesn't stop. It doesn't pause to give you a chance to kind of take in the scenery, whether it be the story or visuals, and I'm going to get to those visuals. It just doesn't stop. It just keeps going, and it seems like it's barely pieced together in any kind of cohesive manner. As far as the visuals are concerned, it's 2019. Your special effects shouldn't look this shoddy. There are fight scenes, and there's one in particular that made me go, what is, it's a scene where he's fighting some giants, and when he's fighting those giants, there are scenes that look clearly fake. Like, not like, oh, the physics don't work, or oh, it looks like no, it looks bad. The last time I remember looking at something and saying, wow, that looks awful, were like Wolverine's really bad claws in X-Men Origins Wolverine. If you remember that from 10 years ago, yeah, it's akin to that. And I wish that I could tell you that at least the acting is great, but not all the acting is bad or mediocre. Daniel Day Kim, who plays Major Ben Daimio, I hope I'm saying that right, Daimio, I'm not sure, but he does a really good job. I'm not going to say that he's the shining point in this movie, because I think that Hellboy is actually, they do a good job of making him the main focal point, but Daniel actually outacts him in my opinion. But to get back to that, Sasha Lane, who plays Alice, is awful. Like, really, I hate talking bad, like really dogging movies in every aspect of them, but this kind of deserves it. This was supposed to be a January release, if you weren't aware, and then they pushed it back to April, but didn't have a trailer out until, I believe, after the movie was originally supposed to premiere. So there were some sort of problems or reshoots or whatever, I'm not exactly sure. This leads me to the directing. And there are so many bad decisions made behind the camera, whether it be music selection or score or timing or the graphics or the cinematography or what have you. There's so much cringe-worthy around that you really don't get a chance to have a break from all the cringe. And I wish that I could have enjoyed this, because I did enjoy the Hellboy that came out back in 2003 or whenever, but this is not the spiritual successor. So the grade that this 2019 Hellboy gets is a 24. The story is 50% of the worst thing about this movie. The directing is the other 50%, because the decisions that were made behind the scenes to create this movie made for a really unfortunate time. I wanted to enjoy the story, but it almost felt like instead of a movie with 3 or 4 acts, it was more like a graphic novel with 12 things, and so there's like 12 action pieces, and you don't even get a chance to really enjoy it cohesively because everything's going so fast. The villain is completely lackluster. By the time you leave the movie theater, there are so many things that are just forgettable that you don't care. The acting is subpar for the most part. Thank you, Daniel. And when it comes down to it, you're looking at the most disappointing movie experience of the year. And this is not just comic book movie experience, but overall. So that's my review of Hellboy. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share this with your friends, and as always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.